You're causing division is what you're doing. You're talking about dividing a nation that's already hung up on racial issues, a nation that's already hung up on equality issues, already hung up on classism issues, already hung up on the dissolving of a middle class issue, already hung up on economic issues. You're causing a further divide, saying, pick a side. January 2016, Barack Obama's final State of the Union address. Later that night, an ad aired given by Hillary Clinton. The ad was titled, "I'm with him," signifying her stance and position she takes with the president, agreeing with the president on gun control. That ad aired in Iowa and New Hampshire, I believe. In that ad, it stated, and she said, it's time for people to pick a side. You either stand with the gun lobby or we stand with the president against the gun lobby. And for the record, when you talk about the gun lobby, this is not some big imaginary powerful group of people that don't allow common sense legislation to pass. The gun lobby is millions of individual American people voting for their Second Amendment rights. The gun lobby is millions of Americans saying, we don't like the legislation you're trying to push because it really doesn't help us as individual people in our rights. It only empowers the criminal element. It restricts us and does nothing to stop a criminal element hell-bent on killing people. That's the problem. The gun lobby is us as individual people voting to not be victims and not just allow our rights to be chipped away because it makes people feel like we're doing something in regards to handling the problem that we consider is centered around guns. This sickens me so much because when we tell people to take a stance against their neighbor, when we tell people pick a side, we're not talking about football. We're not talking about 5-on-5 basketball and running a game of baseball. This isn't a game. We talking about people's individual lives and their own decision-making processes and voting power. That's what we're talking about. You're now telling the nation to pick a side against its own people, the people that protect itself or want the right to preserve and protect itself. You're causing division is what you're doing. You're talking about dividing a nation that's already hung up on racial issues, a nation that's already hung up on equality issues, already hung up on classism issues, already hung up on the dissolving of a middle class issue, already hung up on economic issues. You're causing a further divide, saying pick a side. I'm done trying to pick a side, and this is what people are sick of. This is what people are tired of, is politics as usual. Demonizing groups of people and telling them to pick a side against this group of people that are tax-paying people who've legally owned firearms or went through every background check necessary and are clean in owning firearms. You're telling the nation to pick a side against them. Stop with this. And I'm just not talking about Hillary. I'm talking about any politician that further pushes agendas to divide people and divide nations against themselves. That has to stop. We're supposed to be talking about unification, coming together, finding common ground and all these different things. But at the end of the day, we want to play rugby and say, pick a side. Go against your neighbor or go against your brother. Stop it. We've seen what happened when the North and South had disagreements like that and people were forced to pick a side. Hundreds of thousands of people died. Why? Because of a civil war that people couldn't agree on for business differences. Get out of here with that.